Hey, it's Styles from Brand Content Studios. Here's your content marketing quickie for the week of October 8th, 2019. This week, Remington Begg asks the question, if conversations are everywhere and all the time, and really an essential part of who we are, why do marketers and salespeople make them so freaking weird? The article caught my eye because in my discussions with people about what content is, they seem surprised to learn that conversations, be they in real life, email, or chat, or text, that's content. Each and every one of them is a presentation of sorts, a show. So with 80% of consumers willing to use messaging apps to get help from brands, it might be time to get serious about how you look and come across there. Because only about a third of companies use live chat. Irony theater. You're spending thousands and driving yourself crazy trying to get your customers and prospects' attention, but at the same time, you're keeping it impossible to connect with those who are literally trying to reach you. Remington points out, you don't have a conversation with a group. You have it with an individual. Broadcasting, like we used to do it, doesn't work as well as having conversations when it comes to actually driving revenue. Okay, what are good conversations? Well, they form a connection. You're going to need context and an understanding of your consumer for that. If you can do corporate empathy, that really puts you in the sweet spot. Conversations deliver value, which we talk a lot about content needing to do. Conversations generate trust, which you get by proving that you understand and care about your customer. Other tips? Be human. You might have to compensate for what some of our tech and automation takes away. Explain why you're asking for any personal info you're asking for, and only ask for what you really need. Keep the conversation short and clear. In fact, if you ever see me at a convention, you're totally free to practice having conversations on me. Always one to sniff out any report that gives me some trends on how video is being made and used. I came across one Sarah Dyer reported from the Alabama Media Group. I'm sworn to loathe their college football teams, but I will take good video marketing intel any day. They talk about not just short, but super short video ads. Those 6-second bumper ads on YouTube were apparently just right for the mobile and shorter video consumption world, and engagement proved that out. But when it comes to content, not ads, content, the reverse appears to hold true, and longer video content is more appreciated. Still, since you never know how much of a video the watcher is going to watch, Sarah suggests treating it like a newspaper article and front-loading the most valuable info up front, then going deeper into detail as you go. Regular listeners of this podcast will know I'm a despiser of vertical video, an abomination to anyone who's ever been in the film business. But I'm provably wrong. At least when it comes to ads, vertical videos get a 90% higher completion rate, and less than 30% of users will turn their phone sideways, a grueling and monumental task that is simply too much to ask. Vlogging continues to show effectiveness for business, especially since consumers want much more of an inside, behind-the-scenes knowledge of your brand. Finally, there's live video, which continues to get fine engagement, although not everything is worthy of live coverage, and some orgs haven't figured that out. What you sacrifice in on-demand convenience must be replaced by an authentic anything can happen that we can't control experience. That is a risk brands do not like to take, even though 82% of audiences prefer live video from a brand to social posts. Quick, what's your video strategy? People hate it when I pop that question on them. Let's go back to talking about trust. Do you trust me enough to give you the legitimate info we've learned about trust and who has it and how you get it? If I'm wrong, you can get back all the money you paid to listen to this podcast. Business Insider Intelligence, really the only intelligence organization not currently under investigation, puts out their annual digital trust report. People were asked to rank Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Snapchat, and Pinterest on factors like security, legitimacy, community, user experience, shareability, and relevance. Look at you. You're bursting at the seams to know who won. I can feel it. But first, let's tell you the 4 factors that mattered the most to people when they consider whether or not to engage with an ad. 75% said it's legitimacy. Was there deceptive content? 72% said community. Is it safe to share and post and participate there? 69% said security. Is there data privacy? And 63% cited relevance. Are these ads that I care about? That said, the most trusted social media platform for the 3rd year in a row is LinkedIn. Don't puff your little blue chest out too far, though, LinkedIn, because you were overtaken this year on 2 pillars. Pinterest beat you on user experience, and Instagram knocked you off for relevance. In fact, Pinterest came in 2nd overall. Coming in dead last was Facebook. It's usually last, and actually gets worse on every factor every year. You have to admire a company that sees, admits to, and works to fix their problems. We've talked some here about the current mad rush to take as much creative in-house at brands as humanly possible, creating echo chambers and bubbles where highly compromised marketing content is made primarily to satisfy internal stakeholders. Well, Digiday's Christina Monlos writes, it's not just creative and content where this is happening, and the difficulty of doing everything in-house is starting to rear its ugly head. Turns out 75% of marketers say it's programmatic ad buying that's been most difficult to take in-house. And right behind that is traditional media buying, creative production, and search. Of course, none of this matters. They'll continue to resist the gig economy and keep trying to build their open floor plan kingdoms, but it is creating issues. Just as an example, what makes programmatic so hard to do in-house? Okay, A, you've got to build out an entire technology stack, but B, you've got to get the best programmatic talent to go from working on many interesting brands to one, which may or may not be interesting. Well, they don't wanna. Same with content creatives. The best aren't trying to suffer 2 hours of commuting to sit in a half-cube 9 to 5, wear a badge so they can go to the bathroom, all to work on one brand. Now, don't tune out. It gets worse. Omnicom Media Group's Scott Hagthorn says some brands don't even think you need quality people to do programmatic. They believe that set-it-and-forget-it machines can do it all by themselves. Now, if you are desperate to take something 100% in-house, the survey shows brand strategy and social media are the easiest. Lastly, and quickly, 40 years ago, actually just 4 years ago, 34% of new CMOs were women. Now, Russell Reynolds Associates tells us it's 48% of them. Why, that's 2 points shy of halfsies. It may have helped that there's been a lot of flux in marketing leadership overall lately. 12% more comings and goings so far in 2019 than 2018. When the dust settled, it was women who landed in half these roles, which is an all-time high. A Spencer Stuart report says in 2018, there were female CMOs at more than a third of the 100 most advertised consumer brands in the U.S. All right, let's say you want to one day be a female CMO, whether you're a man or a woman. Accenture studied what makes the good ones so successful, and it was being able to understand, adapt, and embrace to how different the marketing roles of today are. Next on that list was being open to and fairly good at collaboration. Okay, so it's nice to hear the number of female CMOs is going up, but what difference does that make if their compensation isn't fair? It would be wrong for one sex to make more than the other for essentially the same job, right? Equilar reported in late 2017 the median pay in marketing leadership positions was actually 36% higher for women. That's the Content Marketing Quickie for this week. Hopefully you're using this knowledge to start some really interesting conversations. All I ask is that when you do, you mention where you heard it. Back next week.